You want to shoot me that phone number? When you get a chance?
Got an email from a guy who said, "How can you have Kilgore ranked in the top 10 when they didn't even make the playoffs?"
It's the toughest district.
Well, no, they did make the playoffs.
Well, they did make the playoffs, yeah.
They won.
And they won the district, yeah.
So he just missed them in the brackets.
Yeah. I understand why someone would look at their record and go, oh, they shouldn't be in the top 10, but you can't tell me that's not one of the toughest districts in that conference. And they won it, you know?
Sure. They sure did, Bob. There's a lot of teams that aren't playing this week. Do you know why?
Because they didn't make the playoffs?
They didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. What do we go down to? We start at what, like 1,400 schools around there?
We are down to about 7. I can actually.
So they're basically halved.
Why am I guessing?
We're halved.
There are.
The thing is, like,
That's not
some
right.
districts have 4 teams, some teams have like 10 teams. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, hold on. I can tell you. There are 704 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, okay.
That will be cut in half this week, and cut in half again, and again, and again, and again.
So the company we're getting the DCTF swag from just sent me a deal. $50 off your next moleskin order. So if you want some customized DCTF Live moleskin products, So you went ahead and watched Monday Night Football last night.
I got home and turned it on.
I saw you tweeting about it.
There's nothing else on.
Man.
That's not true. My wife and I watched Scandal on DVR.
What was better?
Scandal. Way better, man. Listen, man. Y'all can hate if you want to.
Okay.
But I get to look at Kerry Washington for an hour.
Whatever, man. Whatever. we leading with coach?
No, it's 12.
12:15.
Yay. That's really good. Good job, Greg. Very proud of you.
Longest high school name I have ever seen. Barack Obama Male Leadership Academy High School. It's in Dallas.
All right then.
It's called what?
Barack Obama Male Leadership.
Obama's already got schools named after him?
In Dallas, no less.
It's good to be president, man.
They name all kinds of things after you. Still waiting for that Tepper building of tweet methodology.
Well, there's already Carnegie Mellon's got the Tepper School of Business, so it's 100% true.
When,
Because do you know why?
When's your alma mater going to have the Tepper School of Tweeting?
Do you know how I know that there's a Carnegie Mellon Tepper School of Business?
You went there?
Because I get tweets
Oh, do you? At Tepper?
at Tepper
That's funny.
that are like, I'm at the at Tepper,
Okay.
business school thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are really lost.
Yeah, you are barking up the wrong
You couldn't be
tree.
barking up a wronger tree.
I had an ex-girlfriend that went to Carnegie Mellon
Yeah?
randomly.
Good school.
I don't think she ever went to the Tepper School of Business.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's really the only reason
More of a
to
fine
go.
arts student.
It's like the only reason to go.
Probably.
They don't have sports, I don't think.
It's a brainiac school.
It is. It's a nerd school.
Yeah.
It's a school for nerds. Should probably figure out what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're about to go here. Are you ready?
About as ready as I'm going to be, Max.
Okay. Well, I guess that's all I can ask for.
Here goes literally nothing. Yes, y'all. It is DCTF Live, episode numero 17, which is a word I don't know in Spanish. My name is Greg Tepper, managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for tuning in, whether you are tuning in live on TexasFootball.com or you are tuning in on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on iTunes. As I said, I'm Greg. That's Max. Hey, Max.
Hello, Greg.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Okay.
It's playoffs weeks, baby.
It is playoff week.
We're just going to say it every day.
TexasFootball.com/playoffs.
So excited.
TexasFootball.com/playoffs.
/playoffs.
That's where you can find the brackets. You can find our predictions are going up tomorrow on the site.
But Greg, I ask, where can I get printable brackets? Why aren't those available?
Well, we're working on that.
Can you work on it faster?
I've got other things to do, but
That's not.
I'll get it done.
That is the wrong answer.
I'll get it done.
That's the wrong way to.
I'll get
to
it.
Act.
It'll happen. They'll be up today.
How can I be sure it'll happen?
You have my word.
What's that worth? I don't know if that's worth much.
Not a whole lot, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to talk about today. It's a weird
You
show.
know what we could talk about? The playoffs.
We could. We've got a big show. We're going to break down the 6A brackets here in just a little bit.
Really excited about our guests, too.
We are going to talk to the head Bobcat. Going to talk to
The head Bobcat.
Celina head coach Bill Elliott. He's going to join us on the phone line.
Head Bobcat of all the Bobcats in the state. No offense to the other Bobcats, but Celina might be the Bobcats.
Trying to think. Who else is the Bobcats?
San Angelo Central, the closest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rio Hondo.
But there's a whole lot of trophies in that Celina cabinet.
Listen, they're the most decorated program in the state. You know, it's them and South Lake Carroll have the most titles.
Really, I'm offended that we haven't had them on sooner.
Yeah, but we had to find a time. We had to get our schedules
It's true.
aligned and
It's true.
stuff, and so they are 10-0, which should not be a surprise to anybody.
Nope.
And they look great heading into the 4A Division 4A Division 2 bracket. Is that right? I think so. I should probably figure that out. 4A Division 2 sounds right. So it's going to be a fun show. We are going to start by breaking down every day this week. We're going to do what we call our bracket breakdown.
They open against Venus, in
They
case
do.
you're curious.
Yes, they do. We are going to take 2 brackets on today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and then we're going to do 4 brackets on Friday because it's an hour-long show.
Yep.
And we're going to break them down, kind of go region by region, and tell you what we think of each bracket. So we're going to start with the 6A Division 1 brackets, the granddaddy of them all, right? It's the big one. The big one. It's just all the big schools.
The big boys.
We'll start in Region 1, where the elephant in the room, right? It's Allen. Allen will have to be, the 3-time defending champs, 10-0, riding a 50-something game winning streak. They've got to be considered the favorites, especially considering how disappointing and inconsistent DeSoto has been this year. If DeSoto can even get past Capel, which is not a given. I'll tell you who probably stands the biggest challenge to Allen would be a team like Arlington Martin, whom they'd see in a regional semifinal.
Mm-hmm.
You can lump Eels Trinity obviously in there. Denton Ryan is unbeaten.
About to say Denton Ryan is kind of quietly unbeaten up
They've
north.
been excellent.
Yeah.
And then what about Permian? I'm a little bit spooked off because of Permian's loss to San Angelo Central in Week
That was
11.
Very surprising.
Mhm.
Makes you wonder about them.
But I think that you've got to, as we said on the air on the DCTF radio hour yesterday, as Ric Flair once said, to be the man, woo! You got to beat the man. And right now, Allen's the man. There's no doubt about it that Allen's the man. So they've got to be, until somebody knocks them off or proves them mortal, you have to assume they are immortal. So Allen's probably my pick to come out of Region 1.
Okay.
Region 2 is a bit of a mess because there's a number of teams that I think could come out of there.
Okay.
If you start at the top, Dallas Skyline, that one loss, their loss to Dallas Jesuit was, gives you a little bit of pause. Round Rock Cedar Ridge, if you're looking for a new squad to kind of, grab that range, because every year we've had one team that we haven't expected to be there. Last year of Cy Ranch.
Right.
Is Round Rock Cedar Ridge that team. They play great defense. I really like that squad. I think the winner of Humble, Atascocita, and Klein Collins has a great chance to make a run, and I don't have any feel for that game.
No, but I've been high on Klein Collins all year, and I still feel like they'll find a way.
I think the winner of Round Rock Westlake has a chance to make a run. Those are 2 really good teams. That's a game that's worthy of being a regional semifinal itself, that they're meeting in the first round.
Yeah, I think you can't let that Westlake result against Lake Travis throw you too much on Westlake. In the past, they haven't necessarily. Some of their best teams haven't gotten through the year unscathed. They've sort of learned from it. They found a way to be gritty in the playoffs. Some of those state championship teams, like the one that played Southlake in 06, that wasn't an unscathed team. It had some battles along the way, some close calls, and still found a way. That's a very Westlake approach to the playoffs.
Then there's the Woodlands.
That
defense
is good.
Outrageous, and they're going to keep them in every game. They're going to be dangerous.
And they've played Katy as close as anyone can.
If you want a sleeper in Region 2, it's North Mesquite.
Think so?
Mm-hmm. Mike
Interesting.
Robinson's squad is flying right now. They play solid defense. They've got a couple of big playmakers. I think North Mesquite's got a chance to make a run. If I had to pick right now, I think I would go with the Woodlands only because of their defense. But I worry that their offense won't show up in a big game. That's my big concern. I think Region 2 is wide open.
Okay.
I really do. Region 3. You know, it would be easy to just say, oh, well, you go with the traditional powers like Pearland
Sure.
or Galena Park North Shore,
Mm-hmm.
a team that everybody forgot about but is
Right.
still really, really good. And they're going to be in it for sure. Houston Lamar's obviously got championship pedigree.
Right.
What about Dickinson? I know they had that one loss to Clear Creek, but this is a squad that runs the ball so well with Jordan Myers. I think you've got a number of contenders in Region 3. North Shore, Lamar, Pearland, Dickinson. The good thing for Lamar or North Shore is that the way that it sets up is that they are on the opposite side of the region from Lamar, Pearland, and Dickinson. So they don't
Right.
have to play one of them. If Dickinson is going to make a run, for example, they would have to go through Alief Elsick, by no means a pushover.
No. And then they get
Then they'd get Pearland.
Ugh.
Then they'd get probably Houston Lamar. Or Cy-Fair if they
Right.
catch fire, or maybe Aldine Eisenhower. But
Right.
for me, I think right now you got to go with Pearland.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that bracket and you go,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to see Pearland not getting through that. Not just because not because you think they're so much better than everyone else,
No.
but because of the way they found to beat teams this year.
What I've been very impressed with is that Pearland has played tough games and they've played them close
Yep.
and they've come out with them.
Yeah.
They've made the plays down
Yeah,
the stretch.
They've just found a way.
So I think I like Pearland come out of Region 3. And then there's Region 4, which catches a lot of grief because, you know, we give Ben Baby, the San Antonio Express News, a lot of trouble about Region 4. But let me talk to our friends in the Rio Grande Valley for a moment. May I?
The camera is all yours, my friend.
Guys, I know that every year we think that this is the year that a team's going to break through, and they're going to get past Valley Week in Week 3. There is one team that I could see getting past Valley Week.
Oh man.
It's McAllen Memorial. With Trevor Spates and the running game and the way their defense plays.
You've said this on Twitter, but you've gotten some heat. You've gotten some pushback from people who don't think that that's a realistic expectation.
I don't think it's a realistic expectation, but I'm saying that if there is going to be a team to get past Valley Week, it's
Okay.
going to be McAllen Memorial.
Yeah. Okay.
That said, my pick to win Region 4 is San Antonio Reagan. I think that
Interesting.
their offense is flying.
Not Judson.
Nope. I'm scared of their offense. Their offense has been so up and down.
Interesting.
I think that right now, I believe in Reagan.
I mean,
They're-
I'm not even 100% sure Reagan can get past Smithson in that first game.
Maybe not. But you know, and that's the thing is that they're going to find out. But
Yeah.
Kellen Mond, their quarterback, is outstanding. Skylar Wetzel, they've got playmakers all over the field. You know, they have such a huge offense. Right now, I think that they are. It's a really unpredictable region. But for me, if I have to make a prediction, which I do based on the rules that I've set for myself, I'm going with Reagan. I think that they have been the most consistently excellent in that region.
Okay.
And now that doesn't mean anything in the playoffs because all it takes is 1 week.
Sure.
But I think I'd go with Reagan. And then as far as so that would set us up with semifinals of Allen against the Woodlands, Pearland against San Antonio Reagan, and I think we're going for an Allen-Pearland title game.
Okay.
And at this point, again, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Allen has proven itself to be the man over and over and over. You got to go the Allen Eagles.
Okay.
I think Allen
All right.
wins a 4th straight title. That's my pick. So let's move on and let's zoom through 6AD2, shall we?
Okay. Region 1.
It's so rare. It's so rare that you could look at one first-round game and say, I think the regional winner's coming out of that one. But South Lake
Well,
Carroll, Cedar Hill
yeah.
right now just feels like
Yeah.
whoever wins that's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Now, Mansfield's already beaten Cedar Hill. But, you know, can they, and we talked with Jeff Holm yesterday, they're dangerous. They're very dangerous because of Kennedy Brooks. They got to get past a feisty Colleyville Heritage team. They'd
Right.
probably have to get past Flower Mound Marcus.
Yeah.
And then Wolford Friendship maybe, or Abilene.
Mm-hmm.
This is, to me, the real wild card there are 2 wild cards in this bracket. Assuming that you don't think, assuming that the winner of Carroll and Cedar Hill is going to be a favorite to come out of that region.
Right.
There are 2 wild cards in this
Okay.
bracket. One is Denton Geyer.
Yeah.
Who has been so wildly inconsistent.
Just
And
about
yet-
the worst. Yeah.
And yet, when they put it all together,
Yeah.
they're really dangerous.
Yeah. No, there's no question.
The other one's St. Angelo Central.
Right.
And that win over Permian is impressive. They are another team that has been really up and down, but when they put it all together, they're really dangerous. Brennan Wooten can sling it all over the field. We saw last week against Permian that their defense is capable of being really good.
Yep.
If they put it all together, they're dangerous. For now, I go towards Cedar Hill.
Okay.
Again, they're the defending champs, the 2-time defending champs. If they can get out of Dragon Stadium, which is by no means a guarantee,
Definitely not.
if they can get out of
Yeah.
Dragon Stadium, I think that they have the inside track to going to a regional, to
I have
coming out of Region 1.
a hard time arguing with you. I think we look at that game and go, "Good Lord, the region may be decided on the first week."
Region 2.
Okay.
It feels like we're going to right now. It feels like we're going to have 2 teams in a region in an area round game, Lake Travis and Westfield,
Mm-hmm.
and the winner of that I think has the inside track. That said, if you're looking for a sleeper, there are tons of sleepers in this bracket. This is a minefield of a region. Okay, Jesuit's a sleeper, Rockwall's a
Absolutely,
sleeper.
yeah.
Sleeper. Spring is a big time sleeper.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's paying attention to what the Lions are doing, but they look great.
Yeah.
Hewitt Midway's a sleeper. That's a team that took their lumps early but has figured it out.
Yeah.
If you squint, maybe you can see Highland Park, but I have my
Maybe.
doubts.
It's interesting. I've talked to some people, Jay Plotkin, who we've had on the show, who's kind of trying to size up Lake Travis's chances as they go into this, and he's sitting there going, "Okay, well, that Westfield game looks tough in the second round." He's like, "But then you might have Highland Park waiting for you." Now, that doesn't mean what it used to.
No.
They've had a rough
especially in
year.
6A.
In 6A, it's just a different game. But that's a program with a ton of pedigree. They're
Mhm.
not going to be intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
They owe Lake Travis still for that 07 title game.
I'll also tell you
So-
that Lake Travis losing Abe Willows has me spooked.
And Sammy Ocho on the defensive line.
I mean, they have lost.
Those are 2 huge losses.
You know who I think I'm picking? I think I'm picking Westfield.
I want to.
I think I'm picking
My
Westfield.
heart wants to because I feel like they are due. They need to overcome what they've gone through this year, some of the mistakes they've made. But I just don't trust them. I would love to see them make it, especially in an NRG year. I don't trust them.
I'm going for Westfield. That's my pick. Region 3.
Okay, all right.
Region 3.
All right.
It's Katy. Right?
It has to be.
It's got to be Katy. There are teams that can beat them.
Yep.
Clear Creek, I think, could beat them. Manville, I think, could beat them.
Probably.
But Pearland Dawson or LaPorte, both those teams are dangerous. Cy Ranch obviously has pedigree. But right now, I think that if you're picking anybody to come out of Region 3 besides Katy, you've got to have a really good reason. And there are good reasons.
And there are good reasons.
but
we
they
don't
have been the
necessar-
most complete team.
We don't necessarily know how healthy Kyle Porter is.
We don't.
That's number one thing.
Mhm.
But I think if you look at the whole of the season, you take the full resume, it's hard to argue that there's any defense that comes close to theirs
That's
this
exactly
year.
right. That's exactly right. So I'm taking Katy in Region 3.
All right.
Region 4,
Oh,
I mean-
Region 4.
it's got to be Cibolo Steel, right? I think they're the clear favorite out of Region 4. They've been the most consistent. They've been excellent all year long. If you're looking for somebody to up and get them, maybe a team like Schertz Clemens, who has a huge offense.
Sure.
Although I don't know how healthy Frank Harris is, their quarterback.
Right. We don't know.
Brennan's an interesting team.
Interesting
But-
team. But they're going to have to play their best game.
They'd have to play their best game to
Yep.
beat them. And then you have to assume, again, all due respect to our friends in the Valley,
Yeah.
that you don't have a team like Laredo Alexander who's making
Right.
a run, or San Benito.
Yep.
I think that right now it's got to be Cibolo Steel in there.
Right.
So that would give us semifinals of Cedar Hill against Spring Westfield, which is
Mhm.
tantalizing.
Yeah.
And then you've got Katy against Cibolo Steel, which is super tantalizing.
Super cool. Interesting matchups. Yeah.
Here's where I'm going.
Okay.
You want to get silly?
Well, I got nothing else to do.
All Houston title game.
That'd be cool.
Spring Westfield and Katy.
That'd be cool. That would.
That's what we got.
Although I will say, well, I don't know. That's not really even a question, but it would be a lot cooler if it was a DFW team versus a Houston
For
team.
sure.
But
I think we've got an all Houston title game in 6AD2. I think you got Spring Westfield.
Yeah.
And I think you got Katy.
Okay.
I think that's who I'm going with.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
So that's what we're doing. Tomorrow we will break down 5A, so join us on DCTF Live then. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I love the playoffs. And again, TexasFootball.com for all things, all the brackets, all the matchups, everything you need. While you're listening, follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And see us at TexasFootball.com. We're going to shift gears from the big schools down to a little bit smaller, 4A, 4AD2. We're going to talk to Bill Elliott, the head coach of the Celina Bobcats. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Max is talking too much. That's problematic. But Celina is a team, obviously, with pedigree. They've got 8 state titles. Only one other team, that's South Lake Carroll, can claim that. They are, and this year, they look like a vintage Celina team. They're playing great defense, and they've got a quarterback in Connor Pingleton, who has been lighting the world on fire. He's been great. Can they parlay that into a title? You know, it's been a while since we've seen, well, a while by Celina standards. It's been a while since we've seen Celina win a state title. Let's see, their last one, as I look, their last title was, oh geez, come on. Yes. Their last title was in 2007, which doesn't seem like a long time, but it is. Considering they won 4 straight from 98 to 2001, this is a team that expects to win and expects to be in the hunt every year, and they most certainly are this year. And I think we're good, right? Joining us on the phone line now, Max, is the head coach of the Celina Bobcats. It is Coach Bill Elliott. Coach Elliott, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, you are a guy who has been at this job now for, what, this is your 4th season?
Well, it's my 4th season as head coach, but I've been here in Celina for 23 years.
Right. So you know the expectations around this program. And I'm interested in knowing if you view that as kind of a cross to bear, so to speak, or if you view that as more of an opportunity.
I think it's an opportunity. I would want to work in a place where there wasn't high expectations on our kids, on our coaches, you know, on our whole school system. That's, to me, what you want for your kids. That's what you ought to expect. And to me, if you're in a place that doesn't have high expectations, then you're just kind of, you know, you're just playing to play. I mean, I want the pressure on us so our kids understand what they're trying to do, and that just raises their level of work and competition up.
I want to take you back to, I guess it would be either week 3, when you guys took down Argyle, a squad that played in a title game last year. Did you view that at the time, or do you now, after the fact, view that as a real measuring stick for how you measure up?
Well, yeah, definitely. You know, going in, that's what all our preseason games are about, and you know, we try to schedule some pretty stiff competition through those games, just to kind of see where we are. And that's what we talk to the kids about every week. You know, that we're gonna, you know, when you play good people, it reveals your weaknesses, and it's going to show the things that you've got to work on. And that's what, you know, we're viewing that game as. And it's kind of turned into a little bit of a rivalry game with the last few years. You know, we've been playing them, and you know, so there's a lot on it. You know, for our kids, they know a lot of those boys over there, and so. You know, you look for you know, a lot of different things other than just a measure stick, but also is the competition between the two schools.
He's Celina head coach Bill Elliott joining us on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation, #DCTF Live. Coach, the real star of your team has been the breakout performance from your quarterback, Connor Pingleton. Can you tell us a little bit about him and about what he brings to your team and how important he is to your squad?
Oh, he's a great young man. You know, he's a Celina kid. You know, his dad played football here. His family's from this area, so he's always been, big, growing up knowing the Celina tradition and knowing the expectations and seeing all the teams in front of him and the kids in front of him win and do the things that they did. So, he understood coming in, and so that helps a lot when it's, one of your kids that really kind of buys into everything that you do. I've known him since he was a little tiny kid, basically his whole life. And so we knew what he could do and the potential that he had in him. And, he's been a varsity player since a freshman for us. He played free safety for us as a freshman, backed up last year as a sophomore at quarterback and played some free safety also. And so he's done a lot of things and been a part of the team. And, he's just a valuable source for us on our offense. He's such a leader for us there. Great arm, has a great vision of the field, understands the offense very well. And he's doing a great job right now as a leader, just with his character and the way that he's leading the kids. And, it'd be tough to lose him.
It's rare to see a quarterback who's not a senior who takes care of the ball like he does. I mean, 4 interceptions on almost 220 pass attempts is remarkable. I imagine for a coach, it's kind of comforting to just toss him the ball and know that he's going to take care of it.
Yes, sir, definitely. Because that's one of the things you always want to stress is the turnovers, and our kids have done a great job in all areas this year with that. And he's done a great job. Coach Jones, our quarterback coach, has done a great job of working with him. And Coach Troy Davis, our offensive coordinator, just really doing drills with him and working with him on that, making it be a big mental thing for him and stressing that to him every week. And he's done a great job of protecting that and making sure where he's delivering the ball. And another thing that's helped out is our core receivers. We've got 5 receivers that are just excellent. They might be the best in the state in 4A. I mean, they're great kids. They're all returning starters from last year, and so they've got a lot of experience. And they do a great job of getting open and then catching the ball when it's there.
Your defense, Celina's the state championship teams of past years have always been defense first. They've always had outstanding defenses. And this year you guys you didn't enter with a ton of experience, only 4 returning starters defensively. Did you know before the season that you would have the defense that you do right now?
Really going in, we really didn't. I mean, I'll be honest, some of the coaches and I talked about a lot, and that's one thing we were worried about going in, was just how our defense would be with the amount of kids that we lost last year. And Shane Gurst and Trent Lindblad, our starting linebacker and free safety, they've done a great job of stepping up and leading that defense. A lot of kids came through for us, and really grew up. Really worked hard through the off season, through the summer, and they've really just a lot of them have really amazed us as far as some things they've been able to do. So we've been very pleased with that. And that is the backbone to our team, is having that great defense. The old saying that offense wins games, but defense wins championships is very true, and that's something that we've always relied on here in Celina.
We're talking with Bill Elliott, the head coach of the Celina Bobcats, here on DCTF Live. Coach, you're a guy who knows, being around this program for almost a quarter century. You've been around, not to date you like that, but
thanks, man.
but you know what it takes to win in the playoffs. So what does it take to win in the playoffs? It's obviously different from regular season for you, and what do you preach to your kids once the playoffs roll around?
Well, we actually talked about that a little bit yesterday when we started practicing. This is the time you've been waiting for all year. We basically break our season into 3 phases: our preseason, our district, and then our the playoff season. And our goal is to improve all through preseason, get better, figure things out during district to get in the playoffs. If we get a chance to win district, then try to get that district championship, but mainly get in the playoffs. And then when we get in the playoffs, anything can happen. And how that road goes and injuries and things that go. But this is Celina's time. Because of what we've done the last 22 years, being in the playoffs 22 years straight. Being in the state game, I guess 9 times. Winning it 7 times since I've been here, and this is our time. This is the time that Celina rises up. Our whole community rises up, and they do things different. You do things just a little bit extra special as coaches, as players, everything we do. And that's why I challenged our coaches with that over the weekend, challenged our players with that yesterday as we started practice, and that's what's expected. And they came through. Had a great workout yesterday, and I imagine they'll continue to do that every day.
We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about your blossoming young sophomore tight end in Caleb Elliott, and
you're killing me.
and of course his brother Nathan, who is now out there for what is a resurgent North Carolina team. I know he hasn't seen the field yet, but I imagine that you would put a lot of the Tar Heels' success on number 4.
Yeah, that's it. He's having a blast out there in Carolina. he's living his dream. And Coach Fedora and Coach Chiswick, those guys out there doing a great job. And he's running scout team quarterback because he's redshirting, and he's learning so much every day. And he's gained a lot of weight, gained a lot of size already since he's been there in June, and he loves working with Coach Chiswick. He thinks Coach Chiswick is a stud, and he's learned so much from him from the defensive side. Running quarterback for him every day and working with him, and it's a blast for him, and it's a real special thing. It's always a special thing to coach your kids, and having Caleb, his younger brother, who's a sophomore, who's backup tight end for us, it just makes it special for us as a family to be able to share in this, because football's played such a huge part of my life ever since I was a kid, and playing in high school and college, and then coaching here in Celina. It's just a real special thing when you can share it with your family.
He's Bill Elliott. He is the head coach of the Celina Bobcats, joining us on DCTF Live. Coach, thanks so much for hopping on with us. Best of luck the rest of the way. Best of luck this weekend against Venus, and maybe we'll see you guys at NRG Stadium.
Yes, sir. Sounds great. Thank you very much.
There he goes. Bill Elliott, the head coach of the Celina Bobcats, joining us on DCTF Live. I had to ask him about Nathan, who was such a stud for Celina.
He was awesome
for so long, and one of the now he's out there coaching under Lee Fedora. Not Lee Fedora. Lee Fedora's Navasota's coach.
He hasn't crossed enemy lines over to Navasota. No.
Yeah, Larry Fedora is what I mean. But it's cool to see him. I'm always partial to kids, Texas kids staying in state.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, if he's going to go play out of state,
right,
it's nice to see him go play for a guy who's got his
Texas ties.
A guy from College Station.
Also, we didn't have time to ask him, but Bill Elliott, very high on my list if I was going to have the which Texas high school football coach would you want in a backroom brawl?
Yeah. No,
Bill Elliott is I think he's winning a lot of polls. Which one do you take in a fight between all the Texas high school football coaches?
Yeah.
He is a monster of a man.
There's a couple of other guys that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But he's
a Thunderdome match.
This is but no, Celina looks great, and they've got Venus this week where they'll be favored against Venus
for sure.
But past that, they're looking good. They'll take on Bushland or Monahans, which won't be easy, but then probably take on Anna in a regional semifinal, and then either a Crum team they've already beaten, Sweetwater could be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the path is there. I think that
Definitely.
the teams that could beat them are teams like West Orange Stark, but they wouldn't see them until a title game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I like them in that region.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be awesome to see them at state.
It would be. They travel.
Oh yeah,
they show up.
Yeah,
Celina shows up.
Yeah.
So very good to hop on with him. Thank you to Bill Elliott, the head coach of the Celina Bobcats, joining us on DCTF Live. Thank you for tuning in. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. And we will see you tomorrow on DCTF Live.